Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I think are the top 8 best EDM festival lineups that are taking place this New Year's weekend for 2022. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Cotton Candy. I am a music festival vlogger and content creator. So I travel going to so many different music festivals to create vlogs, reviews, tip, and hype videos about them. Huge disclaimer, this list is obviously based on my personal opinion. However, I tried not to be so biased. Basically, the way I ranked these lineups is a combination of quantity, quality, and diversity. So how big the lineup is, how many artists there are, do they have enough mainstream, progressive house, big room, dubstep, house, trance, drum and bass, like how diverse are the lineups? Does it have something for everyone? How many people can actually go to this event and have a bunch of artists to enjoy? So of course there are going to be really awesome events, but that are lower on my list just because they're smaller and don't really have as many DJs or don't have very much diversity. So my first lineup on this list, the one I personally think is the best based on all these factors I'm taking into consideration, is Countdown New Year's Eve Festival in Southern California. And this was a very close race, a very hard choice to choose from my first and second pick on this list, but I did settle on Countdown as the best lineup based on my grading rubric. It's just such a massive event. There are so many names on the list. They have like 4 stages, so it's just a really stacked lineup, and INSOMNIAC is always really good at choosing very diverse lineups. deadmau5, Diplo, Party Favor, Tiesto, Afrojack, A-Trak, Major Lazer, Rez, and so many more. And then of course INSOMNIAC never forgets to cater to their bass music fans. Bass Rush is INSOMNIAC's bass music brand, and they will be doing their takeover just like they do at most INSOMNIAC festivals, so you can see that there's tons of awesome bass music artists on this list, including a Boogie T back-to-back Dirt Monkey set, Dion Timmer, Kaiwachi, Matrada, Riot 10, Blunts and Blondes, Borgor, Kayvon, Liquid Stranger, LS Dream, and so many more. There's tons of melodic bass and future bass as well, which is definitely my cup of tea. Midas, William Black, Kayvon, Manila Killa, Nurko, Crystal Skies, Jason Ross, and definitely more artists. And of course, INSOMNIAC always pays respects to their house music fans as well. So plenty of great house music, including LPGOB, Wax Motif, Claptone, Side Piece, and many more. So I will be going to Countdown this year. That is the New Year's one I chose to attend, obviously, because I made it number 1 on this list. It was a hard choice between 1 and 2, but I think Countdown is definitely the move. And that's because I haven't actually been back since 2016, so even before I started vlogging. It was a really fun event back then, but obviously INSOMNIAC has grown so much. Their events are like 100 times better. And so after attending all their other events at the NOS Event Center, I'm very excited to see them transform that location into a really awesome festival. I just want to bring up, if you haven't already purchased your New Year's tickets for Countdown or Orlando Invasion, I am an official affiliate of INSOMNIAC, so I would like to ask you to please use my links if you buy those tickets. I really appreciate it. Thank you in advance to anyone who does use my links. So the second best festival lineup on this list is DecaDence Arizona. It was so hard for me to choose between Countdown and DecaDence to be number 1, but I placed Countdown above DecaDence simply because there are way more artists, so there's just more great DJs to enjoy. However, the DecaDence Arizona lineup is amazing and perfect. I am so sad that I'm missing it. It was such a hard choice to choose between the two. DecaDence is amazing. I've been 2 years in a row, and Relentless Beats never disappoints me. Honestly, they're the most hidden gem for music festivals in America. So apparently they're still going to be adding to this list, but like what they've announced so far is insane. They have so many great artists and it's such a diverse lineup. Alan Walker, Alesso, Cascade, huge names. They never forget to address their house music scene. So Bijou, Chris Lake, Fisher, DJ Diesel is gonna be there, and he's so much fun. If you don't know who he is yet, he is actually a former basketball player, Shaq. He is a huge dude and he has been DJing for a very long time now. His sets are really fun. He plays a lot of dubstep. So if you like dubstep, you should definitely check out his set. On the note of dubstep, Excision will be playing at this show. I love Excision. I feel like every dubstep fan loves Excision, right? He's like amazing. I actually saw him 10 times this year so far. So if I were to go to DecaDence Arizona, I will have seen him 11 times in 2021, which is just crazy. But yeah, he's that good, never disappoints. Another artist that never disappoints is Seven Lions, one of my favorite artists of all times. I've seen him so many times this year, not 10 times, but still quite a few. He never fails to disappoint, and I'm sure you guys are thinking, if some of your favorite artists like Excision and Seven Lions are gonna be at DecaDence, why aren't you going to DecaDence? It's just time for me to attend another New Year's Eve festival. I at least want to go to Countdown this year for the experience, for the theme, for the fun of going to INSOMNIAC events. They always put so much work and creativity into them, and their VIP areas are super bougie. I love those experiences. But yeah, if I for sure end up going to Countdown, then I will for sure attend DecaDence Arizona again next year, because that event is honestly so amazing. And the lineup is so amazing, which is why it's number 2. The third festival lineup that I ranked on this list is Lights All Night in Dallas, Texas. I did attend the last Lights All Night before COVID, and it did have a pretty good lineup, but I just want to say, like, I did not love that festival. Like, I didn't pay for it, so I can't completely complain, but for the cost of the tickets, I feel like they just did not put enough effort into the production, into the quality of the event. I really don't think it was worth what they were charging for those ticket prices. Not to put anything down, it's just that was my personal experience. I didn't love it. However, their lineups are always really, really good. That is why I'm ranking it number 3. I really do think lineups that offer the most diversity are some of the best, because it makes a great experience for everyone. There's something that everyone likes, and then there's so much opportunity for music discovery, which I think is just a beautiful thing if you're into dance music. So yeah, this lineup is very stacked, very diverse. You have bass music, dubstep, experimental bass, trap, trance, house, future bass, literally everything. It is such a rich selection of artists. It was honestly so hard for me to rank the first top 3, Countdown, DecaDence, and Lights All Night, because they all have really, really good lineups. I do think I'm biased just because I didn't love the festival, and maybe that's why it's knocked down a little bit and not number 2 or 1. But again, I did put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. This is my personal ranking system. At the end of this video, I would love to know in the comments everybody else's thoughts. I would love to see what you guys rank these festival lineups as. I always think it's really great to see Above and Beyond on the lineup. They're super amazing, and I'm a huge trance fan. And then of course, Illenium is on this lineup, and you think that this amazing artist, one of my favorite artists, would be enough to get me to go to Lights All Night. However, like I said, I did not have the best experience there, and I don't think it's even worth going to just because of Illenium. It's not worth it to me. I've seen him a lot this year, and every time I've seen him, he's thrown down. I went to his show at Allegiant Stadium where he played literally all of his music that he's ever done, and it was such a great experience. I saw him at Gold Rush, another event by Relentless Beats in Arizona, and he killed it. I also saw his surprise set at EDC Las Vegas, and he never disappoints me, but I think I'm good for this year. I had tons of great experiences with his sets, and hopefully I get to see him a bunch more next year. The festival lineup that I am ranking 4th on this list is DecaDence Colorado. Now, in the past, before COVID, for years before, I actually ranked DecaDence Colorado lineups as the best. Basically every year, they always have amazing lineups. However, I think this year just isn't as good as it has been in the past. There is a lot of repeated artists between DecaDence Arizona and DecaDence Colorado, because they are kind of produced by the same people, or at least they have a collaboration. But I just think the differentiating artists on the DecaDence Arizona lineup are better. I mean, Seven Lions, Cascade, Fisher, like those are some really tough acts to compete with. However, I will give Colorado major props for having Rez, Walker and Royce, Zed, and Zoo on their lineup, because as we go through these lineups, or what we've gone through so far, you probably have noticed a lot of repeated acts. What I think DJs do for New Year's are basically play at a bunch of different New Year's events all at the same time. They just kind of travel all over the country. So definitely the same names show up at every event basically. And I actually haven't been to DecaDence Colorado in a really long time, since way before I started vlogging. I actually went in 2015, and like I said, DecaDence Colorado lineups have notoriously been amazing every single year. The 5th lineup on this list that I'm putting directly behind DecaDence Colorado is Hijinks in Pennsylvania. This is a drastically different size lineup. It is clearly a smaller event. However, I think it is a very high quality event. It definitely doesn't have as many artists as any of the previous lineups we just went over. But yeah, I think these are great names. It's going to be an amazing event. Alice in Wonderland, Excision, Illenium, definitely huge names. And then a bunch of my favorites, including J Wolf, LS Dream, Said the Sky, Wooly. Such a good lineup. Like, I really actually kind of wish I could go to this. It's just way too far, you guys. I live on the west side of the US, and going to anything on the east side is just such an expensive trip, which is just why I don't go to East Coast events that much. But I am genuinely so jealous of everyone going to this event. Like, honestly, if this festival was taking place closer, I would probably choose it over Countdown, over DecaDence. Like, this is such an amazing lineup. For me personally, I love it. The only reason it's lower on this list as number 5 is, again, it's smaller, less diverse, so probably not appealing to everyone. But yeah, personally, I would love to go. The festival lineup that I ranked as number 6 on this list is OMFG NYE, and I have always wanted to go to this event. It's just hard because there are always so many good New Year's lineups. It's very hard to choose, but it has definitely always been a dream of mine to go. The only reason why it's lower on this list is simply because it has such a small lineup. But even though it's small, it is a really high quality lineup, I think. Tons of great names, and like I mentioned, you see a lot of crossover between all of the different New Year's events taking place, a lot of repeated names. So Black Tiger, Sex Machine, Cash Cash, Madion, Mala, Said the Sky, Seven Lions, Zed's Dead. The festival lineup that I ranked number 7 on this list is Orlando Invasion. And the reason why it's so low, even though it has a lot of names on here, is that I don't know, I just don't feel like it's the best lineup that they could have. It was announced a lot later than most of these other New Year's events. So I think there was probably a little bit of slim pickings when it came to the DJs who could play, because a lot were probably all booked up for the other New Year's events. It is a new festival by INSOMNIAC Events in Florida, and so you will see a little bit of crossover between the Countdown and the Orlando Invasion lineup. They obviously have contracts with a lot of the DJs, and so they'll probably be just sending them back and forth between the two. But yeah, just in comparison to all the other amazing New Year's Eve lineups, it's a hard comparison because they're all so good. I am ranking this as number 7. Names that really stand out to me are Champagne Drip, which is like one of my favorite artists of all time, like 12th Planet, Dr. P, Kaiwachi, Rusko, Sullivan King, Trivecta, and so many more. But yeah, just not as excited of this lineup as I am for the other ones. I know I really didn't hype up this lineup very well. I'm just being honest with you. Literally everything I've said in this video is just my honest opinion, my honest insight. But if you do decide to go to this event, I do have an affiliate link that you could purchase tickets through. Just like every other INSOMNIAC, the links are in the description of this video. And you know what? If you do go, I would love for you to reach out to me after the event to let me know what you think of the event. And maybe you can convince me to go to the one next year. The festival lineup that I am ranking as number 8 on this list, the last one, is Fresh Start in NorCal. This is a massive lineup. It's a 3-day event. The only reason why it's at the end of this list is that it is very genre specific. There's not too much diversity, so unless you love house music, this may not be where you want to spend 3 days of your New Year's weekend. I'm not hating, I love house music. My boyfriend is a huge house head. He actually came to me with this lineup and he was like so excited. He would love to go. I don't want to be a jerk or anything. I really did highly take into consideration attending this event. It's just that I personally, I just don't think I could do 3 days of predominantly just house. I think I would die. I've been to 2-day house events and managed that, but it's just not my favorite genre of music. I love hardstyle and dubstep and trance and drum and bass, so many other genres of music before my interest in house. However, if I didn't like house at all, I would never have met my boyfriend because I actually met him at a 2-day house music festival and I was really skeptical about going, and I went alone and we met there and the rest is history. Yeah, so I'm super grateful for house music. Just a little extra insight into our relationship. We actually met during a Vanessa set. So Vanessa is on this lineup. Like I said, I do love house music, just not as much as I love most other genres of EDM. So I would love to attend this event and see Lane 8, Eli and Fur, Ellie and Fur. I haven't found out which way it's pronounced. But yeah, maybe if it was like a 2-day event, I could handle it, but 3 days of house, I just don't think I could do. I don't think I can end my year with 3 days of the same genre. And it's something really against house because like I went to Lost in Dreams, which was a very future-based electro-pop, melodic dubstep event, and I had a hard time at that event as well, even though I love all of those genres, some of my favorite genres. It was just too much of the same thing for me. It was a lot. So I personally, when I go to a festival, I really need diversity, and that is why I ranked these 8 festivals based on size, quantity, quality, and diversity. That is my top 8 festival lineups for New Year's in the US ranked. Of course, there are probably tons of other EDM events happening New Year's. I just think most of them are quite a bit smaller, and like I've ranked New Year's events in the past. It was probably hard for a lot of event companies to return with events because of COVID. So this list compared to other New Year's event lists I did in the past is a lot shorter. Definitely let me know in the comment section where you live, what your plans are for New Year's, if you're going to any of these festivals, if you're going to a different EDM event, let me know. And feel free to rank these top 8 in your own order in the comments as well. I'd be really curious to see what everyone has to say. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos about music festivals all over the world. And yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.